Hello and welcome. I'm David Bell. We're here in the studio with a fantastic guest here today, which I'm going to be exploring more about and finding out more about this individual and their journey. This is all being filmed specially for you guys at Venture Camp. You're probably sitting in Cambridge now, watching the big screen, and Maria and I got together to create this specially for you. So, Maria Jensen, welcome to the studio this morning. It's fantastic to have you here. We're going to explore a little bit more about your business, your idea initially, your journey, and how your business has flourished to become an international business. It sounds fantastic, and I'm so keen to learn more. So, Maria, tell us a little bit about you first, and then we'll explore the business in a bit more detail.
Yeah, thank you for having me, David. It's such a pleasure, and hello, everybody. I assume you have an exciting week ahead of you, and best of luck for that. So I'm Maria, and I'm a cell biologist, and who turned into an entrepreneur. And I wasn't supposed to be an entrepreneur, but that was that happened, and now I went from the academic path that I was on, very solid, and into kind of thinking about what actually do I want to do. I had a business idea, and then I actually met Alan Barrell, and he is one of the big reasons for why I decided to start a company. And now I have founded Antler Bio. I've founded before that an equine genetics company. So we did some horses earlier, and now we're expanding to different species via Antler Bio, and that's now I'm a CEO and entrepreneur, and I used to be a cell biologist in the lab.
Wow. Now, I've got a few questions here because my mind is buzzing. Cell biologist. I've got an idea what I think that is, but for those that don't know, like me, tell us what a cell biologist actually does.
Yeah, so it's rather broad, actually. Like cells might seem like a tiny little thing, but so we're all built out of cells, right? And different types of cells. We're built out of nerve cells, muscle cells, you name it, like anything. And there's a little universe inside each cell. Like everything is regulated. So very like in a complex way. And that's basically what we're exploring. That's a cell biologist. So we kind of zoom in into the cell, look at the molecular things that are going on, and and try to understand, when if there's dysfunction, there's obviously there might be some disease coming, or if there's everything's working well, then you'll have like a good. For example, an animal can be a good performer if everything is, working in an optimal way. And that's what we're basically trying to solve, and just understand the big picture of the universe inside every cell.
Fantastic. So Dolly the sheep springs to mind. Or is that the kind of thing you get involved with, or taking cells and kind of duplicate them and stuff like that, or is that something in a different area of expertise?
So that's one part of it. That is like, obviously it's going on. I'm not into like genetically modifying organisms or cloning, but these are methods that are actually used in the lab very regularly. So I used to genetically modify cancer cells, for example. So I would put in certain genes that I want to like explore into the DNA of cancer cells, and I would look like how these cells respond to something versus some control cells that didn't have this certain gene insert. And so it's very common to use this like in a lab as research methods. If it's a different thing to clone animals, of course, but you would be surprised on how much that's also being done in the world. So that's a valid kind of avenue as well. And the technology is amazing. You can do certain things, but with Antler Bio, we're all into kind of looking at the natural data and not tapping into GMO at all.
Fantastic. Now, let's explore the business a little bit more, because you said that you were just a cell biologist. You didn't mean to become an entrepreneur, but these things just happen. Well, supposedly that's what people say, but they don't. There's a lot of hard work There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and hard grit that goes into getting to where you've got to. And let's not be too shy here that you've built something amazing. You know, I believe you're in Spain at the moment. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So you're based in Spain, but your company's spread around Europe. You have various offices. Just give us a rough idea of that scale with your offices and stuff like that.
Oh wow! So everything started from a business idea, which you can it was basically one sentence. That was like developing DNA tests for horses. That was where everything started from. Nothing like I knew a little bit about competitors and so forth, but that was basically it. Like very reduced. And from there, I started to talk to breeders. So I got in touch, thanks to Alan actually. I got in touch with some of the world's really top racehorse breeders, and that was super valuable to ask them like what are they using, what type of tests, and how can I bring my expertise to them, and just listening to their frustrations and understanding like what they do. That's like the start of everything. So from that I started, and the breeders, like two things popped up when I talked to them, and these were recurring comments that they made to me. So one is that I don't really believe in these DNA tests, because you can have a perfect, like genetically perfect racehorse, but it's never gonna win the race unless you train it or feed it right. So you need to do that right in order for it to win. Okay, then I'm like I'm listening, environment and all of that. And then another thing, so this was one breeder who said that, hey, I've got two horses on the yard. One of them has won 5 million, the other one 5,000. Like that's their track record. One of them is famous, one of them is not. They're full siblings, so basically they should have the same DNA, but why, like they're healthy both, and they've been like investing into training and feeding, and why is the other one still not at all performing, so those were kind of like the differences between that, although you have the same DNA. And then what's kind of the difference there between these animals? They should be the same. So I understood that. So that's why we went actually into gene expression and which genes are active at a certain time, because the genes they're there, but they're not, if there's a gene that makes your horse a winner, if it's not active, then nothing's gonna happen. So or it's not gonna win. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So we teamed up like with one big breeder at the time. This was I think 2018, and we did a big like study comparing horses, good performers and bad performers, and we found differences between them. So what makes the good horse a good horse, and the poorly performing one? What's on a gene activity level there? What's the difference? So these results then, obviously this is a startup. I started from scratch. I had to raise investments to keep going, and because we didn't have any, like we had some business grants, but it's not a university spin-off. So I was really like always having to pitch to investors to get some funds and then do the next thing. And then I was again pitching, and investors said, yeah, can you do this in other species? Because these are great, these results, but we want to see this go to cattle, like, pigs, you name it. And I was like, yeah, so that I can do. And that's why, so earlier I started the company through I have an equine genetics company in Finland that was started in 2017. And for the expansion, I set up a holding company, and that I did in 2020. So I'm expanding through that, and then I recruited some people in the UK mainly. I have like half of my team is based in the UK. Then so we have a lab also in the Nordics, and I have one person managing that, that's kind of like how I tie together the Nordics and the UK and everything. It's
let's talk a little bit about funding, because I know you went for Innovate UK opportunity to get grant funding. Tell us a little bit about that, because Innovate UK is, if you get their interest and you can create a good solid reason for that support and help, it's not just about the money, is it? But tell us a little bit more about Innovate UK and how that has helped you accelerate the business.
Yeah, so we were fortunate to close an Innovate UK Smart grant, which is like, I think, one of the most competitive business grants you can get. So we're super thrilled about that. It's an amazing milestone. And so I mentioned half of my team is based in the UK. So obviously the Innovate UK grant that needs to be done in the UK. And because I have my team in the UK, that's just like the setting is perfect really for that. And so I closed some pre-seed financing for Antler Bio like a year ago now. And then obviously that pile of like equity investment we wanted to maximize. So we wanted to go for different grants, because then you can just do more. Like, we're in a situation where we need money to generate data, and that's quite expensive. So the more money we get, the better. But then you can't give away the company also. So you need to build value, and go for the next fundraise. So these type of like equity-free grants are awesome for a business like us, and also any other business. So it is, yes, about the money, but then obviously it's a great achievement. So it's like partially about the money, but then having that grant and securing it, it's a great like testimonial for
yeah.
The technology that it's gone through assessment. It's validated by these assessors. You've gone through the filter, and you're at the other end, and you have something incredibly like credible. It's spot on. You have a good team. So you tick all of these boxes automatically, kind of that you want to show to the world by having such a grant. So it's been great that like that grant. Well, obviously we started the project started in February, so it's very kind of early still. It's an 18-month project, and we're working hard on that right now. And that grant didn't spark only the project; it sparked like a lot of new interest in investors, collaborators. Everybody takes you more seriously if you have like merits like this, obviously.
Absolutely, it adds a lot of kudos, and it really kind of sets you apart from some of the competition. Who you'll be potentially. I call them competition because I know it's collaboration. That's probably a better word, but they are doing something similar. But it really kind of sets that milestone marker. Look, we're here. We are going to be super successful. We've managed to get this funding, and it also creates interest for other investors as well, because they go, well, actually, they've gone through and they can tick all these boxes and demonstrate what they can achieve. Then this must be a serious business and worth, considering for future investment. We're running out of time, but I've got a few more questions to ask before we say goodbye. Our venture camp guests are sitting there today, and some of them will be at the beginning of their journey. They'll be at the startup stages, maybe just with an idea. They haven't even created a business at this point. Some might have already got their business up and running, but again, maybe they're bootstrapping it. It's still very, very early days. If you could give them one tip from your journey to date, of all the things that you've done, right and wrong, the good outcomes, the real kind of high moments and the low moments, what would be your tip that you'd share with them for them to consider on their journey?
So that would definitely be to embrace challenges. Like, it's not an easy journey, obviously. And that's the beauty of it. So you evolve as you go. And I jumped like completely from being a biologist in the lab to doing a company. And at the time I was like, I can't be a CEO because I don't know how to CEO. So that, or like, and I found out later on that's an invalid statement. So I was being too hard on myself there, because really, like, I think it's important to embrace challenges, whether there's some blood or sweat coming up, along your way. just try to learn from them and push forward. That's and you'll see you're gonna evolve and learn new things and be open to new things, and don't be afraid to reach out to people. Don't be afraid, just talk to people and go out there and do it.
Go out there and do it. I think it's very, very wise words. Embrace challenges, don't be afraid, and just go out there and do it. For me, that is it's kind of 3 tips all lured into one. I think that's a really good top tip. So there we go, guys. If you're watching this and you're thinking, well, I'm at the idea stages, what do I do? Take Maria's advice. Just get out there and do it. Make it happen. And Maria, just to put your mind at rest, you're a fantastic CEO. You're a wonderful entrepreneur, and obviously a very, very good cell biologist as well, because you wouldn't be where you are today. One last question before we say goodbye. How can people find out more about you? I can help a little bit.
Yeah, so that would be through our website, which you actually kindly shared with everybody already.
If you want to find out more about Maria and her journey, go to antlerbio.com. It's all there in full colour, and you can have a look. But no doubt you'll be able to have a chance to have a conversation with Maria at some point in the future. Maria, it's been great having you here today. It's been so interesting learning something I knew nothing about, or very, very little anyway. And I wish you all the best with the next steps in the journey, more fundraising and expansion as well. And look forward to catching up with you very, very soon and finding out how everything's going.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you for having me. And good luck, everybody.
Yeah, good luck, everybody. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah, bye.